So now, you know, when you do these missions for Scientology, you arrive, there's a certain sequence, you get yourself established, and then you immediately go and do a couple of steps on the program, and you call back to report. Well, I'm there like 10 minutes, and I'm done. So her and I actually sat and had lunch and a lively conversation and talked about things, because I needed some time to pass before I could call in and explain to them that my mission was accomplished. And I let an hour go by. We had a great lunch up in the penthouse, and I called in and I said, well, you know, report on target 1, arrive. Yeah, well, that's happening. We're on the phone. Report on target 2, you're on and on. And then I said, look, I'm done. I've done all the steps. She signed all the papers. What? Yes, she signed the papers. Oh, my God. Get on the first plane back. We want to see these papers, and boy, you better make sure she had them signed in the right place, and yada, 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 because there was no such thing at that time in Scientology of using lawyers on the family members themselves. It had to be personal. And sure enough, I go back, and I give them these papers, and they look at me like I literally walk on water. They're like, how did you do it? And, you know, I lied. Oh, she gave me so much trouble. Oh, she just put me through the ringer, you know, and I told her and I threatened her and blah, 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 you know, whatever I could make up. Oh, well, you got the job done. And they forwarded this information to L. Ron Hubbard, that I had actually accomplished this when everyone else had failed. And he sent me a very nice gift that came in handy later. For doing that, I was given a Ruger Mini 14 assault rifle with the banana clip 223. So now I'm a real soldier of fortune, right? And it started from there. So now, you know, I'm going through all of it in management. I was the personal auditor of Miscavige, the personal auditor of anyone in power, and I was the supervisor of these people. Now, they're asking me to do things that I've never done, never trained for, never studied for. Just do it. I guess I was the make it go right guy. Well, some years passed, and things, in all honesty, we had it pretty good. Because now, for the first time in Scientology, I'm making money. I mean, you know, I get a salary. I got unlimited expenses. I have hot and cold running slaves attending to anything I could possibly want. I mean, if I set a cup down, someone would pick it up and, you know, fix my room, and a personal chef that cooked whatever the hell I wanted every day. And this went on and on. That was kind of like the honeymoon phase. And we built this organization. We built the Religious Technology Center into a big organization, and we put extensions of it in FLAG and the EU, and it was here, we were there. We built up international CSI. I never say that C word when I refer to Scientology, but you know, that church. But we expanded all of Scientology International, and things were really on a roll. I mean, there was a lot of new people getting in, and we were doing fantastic. And dead L. Ron had to mess it up. He was upset. He was involved in a legal case where they wanted to bring him in for deposition. He was being sued by all kind of people everywhere. And he saw his grip on Scientology slipping. And he targeted Miscavige for that. So now they're like Miscavige and Hubbard like this. And I'm the person that's ordered out. So I can't tell you how many times I've had that this person that I now hear goes and beats up people. He's only this big, for one thing. But this person that now goes around, Slappy Dave, kicking and doing all of this, would be crying on the floor, wheezing, you know. Anyway, Hubbard was upset. He knew that Scientology was slipping from him, and he figured Miscavige was the one doing it. So he sicked me on him, and I suck him good. And what I found out, you know, and they, you know, through the security check, sec check, interrogation, whatever you want to call it. And what I found out was that Miscavige as Hubbard was making his exit from Scientology, he wanted as much paper money as he could get. So suitcases of $100 bills, like millions of dollars, being carried to him like every other week or, once a month or whatever. Well, come to find out, little Davy was the one taking it to him, who would then give it to Pat Broker, who would then give it to dead L. Ron, who wasn't dead at the time. Not physically, but in his mind, he's been dead a long time. Come to find out, these two were taking the money, going to Vegas, gambling like hell, having a great time, and then bringing just part of the money back. And they got away with it because dead L. Ron never opened up the suitcases. He was too busy screaming at these BTs and clusters to get off of him. He was too busy taking drugs prescribed by psychiatrists and psychologists. He was too busy trying to get electric shock to get these BTs off of him. Now, wait a minute. We all know Scientologists doesn't believe in health care. We all know that you can't see a psychologist or a psychiatrist. This is what we found out when he died. He lived in a bus called the Bluebird. And I went in there and I opened up his medicine cabinet and out fell a zillion pills. I'm like, what is this? How hypocritical is this? That was 1986. Well, and the locals had told me he was buying marijuana off of the people and, all kind of shit. He dies. Pat Broker was supposed to take over. Loyal LO1, LO2, where these people come up with this stuff, I don't know. But he's insane too. I mean, this guy, you can't have a rational conversation with him. I mean, you start talking to him about apples, and the next thing you know, we're talking about growing pineapples. It was very difficult to talk to this person. I mean, he was not lucid in his mind. And Miscavige had a valid problem. What would happen if this guy took over Scientology? He's nuts. He'll tear it all up. Miscavige saved Scientology from dead L. Ron. And now he has this threat of Pat Broker. Well, he made the decision. I'm getting rid of him. And so at that point, Scientology divided. You had, especially in management, RTC part. RTC was originally formed by the brokers. So we were supposed to be loyal to them. CSI, Scientology International and all of that were more things that Miscavige was doing. And he came to me and he said, look, you need to make a decision. You're either going to be on my team or you're out of here because I'm getting ready to clean house. And I was sitting there in my office and I'm like, you know what? I should have left long ago. I should have just gotten myself out of here. My problem was I started enjoying it too much because I had perks, because I could do things that these idiots apparently couldn't do. And that's wrong. I never beat anybody, spit on anybody, or any of that crap. To me, that's an insult to our human nature. So I told him no. A couple of days later, 6 o'clock in the morning, there's a knock on my door. Come, you have to go up to the office. I go up to the office, and there's a whole, there's Marty Rathburn, there's Mike Render, Miscavige, Norman Starkey, Greg Wilhare, Yik, on and on, all of these people in their full regalia with the ribbons and the this, that, and the other thing. And he sets me down, and the person who was my direct, who I was answerable to, Vicky Azaran, sitting in the corner crying with dirt on her face already. She hadn't even got to the RPF. I mean, I don't know what the hell they did to her before they got her up there. And she's just boo-hooing. And he says, you're stripped of all of your rank. You're stripped of everything. And you're going to the RPF. And he's screaming and he's frothing at the mouth. And I said, no, I'm not. He said, yes, you are. And by the way, call me sir. More colorful language from Jessie Prince.